In my past life, after the identity of my adopted sister as my father's illegitimate child was exposed, my fiancé was taken by her, and my inheritance rights were stripped away. She deliberately played the victim online, saying that her sister grew up in luxury while she suffered alone. Netizens sympathized with her, and I was pressured by public opinion. And to eliminate the threat once and for all, she lured me to the rooftop and pushed me off. Given a second chance at life, she once again tried to slander me, but I acted first by revealing that Dad had recognized her as his adopted daughter during my birthday party, sparking heated discussions online. Given how this is unfolding, could she actually be your dad's illegitimate daughter? Young miss, I've studied hundreds of novels about real and fake heiresses. Just say the word, and I'll become your strategist. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back at my own birthday party. The star of this birthday celebration should have been me. But Dad publicly announced his intention to adopt Kelly as his foster daughter. From now on, Kelly will be my daughter. This sentence haunts me like a nightmare. In my past life, I believed Kelly was an orphan and pitied her. I was even happy when I learned that my father wanted to adopt her as his foster daughter. At that time, I thought, since she was so pitiful, I must treat her 1,000,000,000 times better. Later, I realized that the pitiful one was me. My fiancé had long been secretly involved with Kelly behind my back. They worked together to sabotage every project under my responsibility. The board was utterly disappointed in me and stripped me of the inheritance my mother left me before her death. After accidentally discovering Kelly's illegitimate daughter status, she staged a drama to drag me down, portraying me as the bully. As for the stain of her being an illegitimate child, it was effortlessly swept under the rug. Netizens stood on their moral high ground, hurling all sorts of vicious words at me. To eliminate the root of the problem, she lured me to the rooftop and pushed me off with her own hands. Before I died, I heard the sound of my bones shattering. That excruciating pain is something I'll never forget. Seeing my vacant stare, my best friend gently nudged my shoulder, pulling my thoughts back to the present. What does your father mean by this? Anyone who didn't know better would think that adopted daughter is his real child. I watched coldly as Dad held the hand of a girl who somewhat resembled me, greeting each of the uncles one by one. Kelly, isn't she exactly his real child? In my past life, she used online rumors to pressure me. Now it's her turn to taste that bitterness. I didn't answer my best friend. Instead, I took out my phone and snapped a photo casually, adding a caption to it. My birthday party. Yet Dad publicly announced the identity of his adopted daughter. What should I do? If you want to ride on my coattails to make a name for yourself, you'd better see if you're worthy first. I topped up a large sum of money to push this video to the trending list. Netizens have left a flurry of comments. Following this plotline, she might be your father's illegitimate daughter. Investigate. There's a 90% chance she's blood-related to you. Young miss, I've read hundreds of novels about real and fake heiresses. Just say the word, and I'll become your strategist. According to the plot development, your childhood friend/fiancé will also fall for her. I have to admire the incredible insight of netizens these days. Their predictions are almost always spot on. Some netizens even started speculating about my identity based on just one of my pictures. Birthday banquet. Judging by this address, you couldn't possibly be the Hilbert family's eldest daughter. I know. The Hilbert family's eldest daughter Grace Hilbert is celebrating her birthday today. All the big shots in City A have gone over. Wow, what's the deal with this Grace anyway? She's the heiress of the Hilbert family's conglomerate. Way out of our spending league. No wonder you wouldn't know. By the way, what's up with this adopted daughter thing? After glancing at it a couple of times, I put my phone away, letting them speculate on their own. The closer their guesses are to the truth, the more advantageous it is for me. I pulled my best friend to sit in the corner. She looked confused and asked me, "You're not so angry that you've lost your mind, are you? Tonight is your night. What's the deal with hiding here? Confront her head on. You're the Hilbert family's only heiress. What are you afraid of?" Kelly's figure had already disappeared. I pushed the dessert in front of my best friend. Conserve your energy, for a grand drama is about to unfold soon. Sure enough, before long, Kelly ran out in tears, her face streaked with sorrow. A conspicuous red wine stain marred her pristine white gown. I tilted my head slightly, signaling my best friend with a glance. Look, isn't the show starting right now? Kelly ran up to me, sobbing. Sister, why did you splash red wine on my dress? Upon hearing this, my best friend's anger flared up instantly, and she slammed the table as she stood. You damn. I grabbed my best friend's hand, signaling her to calm down. It's just that the dress got stained. Normally, we'd simply change into another one. But today was the day my father announced Kelly's status as his adopted daughter. No sooner had he finished speaking than Kelly's dress ran into trouble. This way, things would escalate far beyond a simple mishap. With so many elders present today, if I don't handle this well, I'll be labeled as spoiled and willful, which would be extremely detrimental to my future inheritance rights. People always instinctively side with the weaker party, and this Kelly is an expert at playing the victim. Sister, did I do something to upset you? Is that why? She left her sentence half finished, subtly painting me as a spoiled and willful young lady in every word. I rose from my seat. My 1.7-meter height made Kelly appear particularly small with the help of high heels. I looked down at her. Don't call me sister. Just because my father acknowledged you doesn't mean you can claim any relation to me. Kelly had a flash of disbelief in her eyes, but it was quickly concealed. At this moment, a person stepped out from the crowd and stood in front of Kelly. Grace, are you openly slapping your uncle in the face? The newcomer was none other than my so-called fiancé. His overprotective attitude made me roll my eyes uncontrollably. As the eldest daughter of the Hilbert family, can't you even tolerate an adopted daughter? You stained her gown with red wine and humiliated her in public. Are you really that jealous of her? Staining the gown was a minor matter, but the humiliation was significant. Jordan's words were clearly implying that I'm jealous. Kelly pretended to look wronged and tugged at Jordan's sleeve. Brother Xiaoming. Sister, Hilbert didn't mean to do it on purpose. My expression darkened instantly. How dare they act so intimately right in front of me? Who knows how far they've gone in private? After a long silence, I spoke calmly. Where's the proof? Kelly paused, stammering. Jordan, protective to a fault, retorted. You're just taking advantage of Kelly's kindness to pull something like this. I shot back. Something? What something? You accuse me of staining your gown. Did anyone actually see it happen? The onlookers remained silent, each fearing to be dragged into this high society drama. I stepped closer to them, one step at a time. At Grace's birthday party, any single bottle of wine here is worth more than everything you own combined. What a waste to spill it on you. Without evidence. You're just making baseless accusations. I don't know whether to call you naive or just plain stupid. At this point, everyone can see through these petty tricks. All right, it's just children playing around. Dad, who had been in the shadows, finally stepped in to mediate. Kelly saw her father as a lifeline and quickly hid behind him. He patted Kelly's hand. The maid stained the dress. You've misunderstood, Grace. It was supposed to be a battle between the real and fake heiresses. But he dismissed the whole matter with just the word misunderstanding. I was about to leave when Dad suddenly changed the subject. Grace, I'm planning to have Kelly change her surname. I paused mid-step and turned to look at him. The daughter you acknowledged should take your surname Anderson. What else would you want to change? The surname Hilbert. As these words were spoken, the entire room fell silent. Jordan chimed in, saying, since Uncle has acknowledged Kelly as his daughter, she naturally becomes Aunt's child as well. Taking the surname Hilbert shouldn't be an issue. I clenched my fists. Should this illegitimate child take her mother's surname? Only they could take shamelessness to such extremes. My father was a live-in son-in-law, so I took my mother's surname. The Hilbert family has only me as their child in this generation. The Hilbert Family Corporation will naturally be handed over to me in the future. In my past life, I fell into the trap of self-justification. Amidst the chaos, I foolishly agreed to let her change mother's surname, and ended up making a spectacle of myself in front of the dignitaries at my birthday banquet. I adjusted my mindset and raised an eyebrow. My mother has been gone for so many years, yet you're still coveting her belongings. With that statement, I brought the power struggle right out into the open. Dad's expression changed, and he raised his hand as if to hit me. You bastard. What are you saying? I can't fight back against elders right now. But that doesn't mean he can hit me. Best friend Frida grabbed his hand and flung it back. Uncle Anderson. That's enough. Frida deliberately emphasized the surname Anderson, being put in his place by a junior. His face turned alternately red and white. Father was about to continue his outburst with an elder's authority when a voice from the doorway stopped him. Who bullied our Grace? My face lit up with joy as I hurried over to greet her. Grandma. What brings you here? Grandma had been a strong, independent woman since her youth. Now that I'm older, I don't care much for company affairs. These past few years, I've been recuperating abroad. She handed me a beautifully wrapped small box and said with a smile, "It's your birthday, so no matter how far, I had to come back. Open it and see if you like it." I unwrapped the package, and the first thing that caught my eye was a ring set with a sapphire. The onlookers gasped in surprise, whispering among themselves, "That gem. I remember it was sold for 20 million before." As expected of Hilbert matriarch, always so generous. Then, grandmother asked slowly and deliberately, "Who wants to change the Hilbert surname?" The previously haughty father instantly wilted. He plopped down to his knees before Grandma. "Mom, I was wrong." He had no choice but to yield. After all, the chairman position at the company was essentially the Hilbert family's charity to him. If he dares to show even a hint of disrespect towards Grandma, the board members could have him removed as chairman the very next day. I wouldn't care if you recognized a dog as your daughter, but if you cross Grace, you know full well what the consequences will be. Dad kept nodding in agreement. Yes. I came for my granddaughter's birthday party, but it seems the main character has changed. There's no point in staying here anymore. Dad was dripping with cold sweat, Kelly trembling and hiding behind Jordan, not daring to make a sound. Grandma whispered to me, "Handle this properly. I'll wait for you in the car." After she left, everyone couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. But Jordan still wouldn't give up. "Kelly is also your sister. What's wrong with sharing the same last name?" I scoffed. "What kind of person does she think she is? Trying to claim kinship with me? The surname Hilbert. How dare she?" I glanced at Kelly. "Jordan, since you like her so much, I won't be the one to stand in your way. Let's just call off our engagement." Kelly heard this, and a glimmer of hope flashed in her eyes. Jordan still had that carefree look, smiling confidently. "You know, the only win-win solution is to form a marriage alliance with our Quinn family." He was betting that I had no choice but to pick him to secure my position as the heir. The sound of high heels echoed through the banquet hall. I took one step closer to him, curled my lips into a smile, and whispered softly in his ear, "A marriage alliance. The Quinn family has more than just you as its young master. I think your brother would be quite suitable." Jordan instantly changed his expression and reached out to grab my hand. I snapped my fingers, and the bodyguards left by my grandmother rushed in, separating Jordan from me. Jordan anxiously asked, "What do you mean?" Without answering him, I gave Kelly a cold glance. Just that one look made her tremble in fear. Boring. I clicked my tongue in annoyance and walked away with my best friend, not sparing another glance at the others. These past few days, Dad arranged a position at the company for Kelly, even handing over a project I'd been working on for a long time that was about to conclude to her. 2 years of my hard work were now credited under Kelly's name. Best friend Frida sent a comforting message. "What the hell is wrong with your dad? After all the time you spent on that collaboration, he just hands it over to that adopted daughter." That contract was almost finalized. Just letting her take it like that. So unlike your style. Indeed, not my style at all. At the time, it took everything I had to suppress the urge to flip the table. But it's not a big deal. Since I have the ability to secure that project, I also have the ability to snatch it away. I typed a reply to Frida. "Don't worry. She's not qualified to take what's mine." Frida didn't want to argue with me about this matter and quickly changed the subject. "Elvis S. bar opens tonight. Let's go show our support." Speak of the devil. Elvis S. message popped up. "My new place opens tonight. You must come. I've prepared a big surprise for you." I helplessly held my forehead. Elvis is famously known in the circle for his love of fun, perfectly fitting the world's fantasy of a playboy heir. 80% of the time, his so-called surprises turn out to be shocks. That night, as I walked into the bar, I immediately spotted Kelly sitting in the booth, along with my so-called fiancé. Kelly was wearing a white dress, putting on an innocent act that clashed with the surroundings. Every time she lost a game, Jordan would step in to drink for her. All right. Kelly can't drink. I'll take care of it. Grace is here. No one knew who shouted it. But in an instant all eyes were on me. Jordan's hand stopping the drink froze mid-air. Kelly looked at me like a mouse seeing a cat. The next moment, everyone gathered around, showering me with concern and warm greetings. Leading the charge was Elvis, who stood out in the crowd with the brightest smile. He quickly leaned close to my ear and whispered something to me. Tonight, I'll definitely help you get your revenge. Then he quickly reverted to his usual carefree demeanor. Frida took my hand and sat me down, speaking in a low voice. Finally, you're here. The way those two are all lovey-dovey is making me sick. Everyone present was from the same social circle, so of course they'd heard about the incident at the birthday party. Everyone's gaze kept shifting between Kelly and me. Elvis brought over a spinning wheel. Come on, whoever it lands on has to drink. The atmosphere heated up again. Kelly waved her hand in refusal. I can't really handle alcohol. At this, several of the young socialites around her weren't pleased. Don't want to hang out with us. What? You think you're too good for us? Yeah, coming to a bar and not drinking. Are you just here to watch? The group burst into laughter. Kelly's face turned redder and redder. That's not what I meant. Jordan quickly spoke up for her. Kelly lost. It's on me. I'll drink for her. Frida shot him a glare. Not helping your actual fiancé, but instead a foster daughter. Kelly was reluctantly pushed into the game. After several rounds in a row, it was Kelly who lost. I lazily leaned back in my chair, watching Jordan down one drink after another. At this moment, someone let out a sigh. This is the first time Brother Jordan has helped someone drink in their stead. Kelly, you're really lucky. Hearing this, a young lady couldn't help but burst into laughter. Then she leaned over to Kelly and said, suppressing her laughter, yes, you two are truly a match made in heaven. The watching young masters and misses seemed to suddenly forget that I still had an engagement with Jordan, and kept praising how perfectly matched Kelly and Jordan were. Looking at Kelly's shy demeanor, anyone who didn't know better would really think they were a couple deeply in love. I got up and went to the restroom, and when I came out, Kelly blocked my way. She said to me provocatively, your friends were all talking to me just now, completely ignoring you. How does it feel to be left out? I scoffed, my tone unhurried. So what? The provocation in her eyes grew even more pronounced. Grace, your life is such a failure that even your friends don't take you seriously. At this moment, Kelly caught a glimpse of Jordan's figure out of the corner of her eye. They said this is a blind spot for surveillance. Do you think they'd believe me or you if I were to fall to the ground right now? Immediately after, she fell heavily to the ground, her knee scraped and bleeding. She began to showcase her superb acting skills once again. She truly looked like an innocent little white flower that had been wronged. Kelly bit her lower lip tightly, tears falling one by one. It's my fault. I shouldn't have gotten so close to Brother Jordan. I'm sorry. It's all my mistake. Jordan was heartbroken seeing Kelly in this state. He quickly ran over, bent down, and carried Kelly princess style to a chair. Then roared at me, Grace, don't you dare go too far. His shout brought everyone rushing over. Frida stood by my side, frowning at the scene. What mischief is she up to again? Jordan gently wiped away the tears on Kelly's face, not forgetting to throw harsh words at me. Grace, how could you be so intolerant of Kelly that you'd even push her? I said nonchalantly. Oh, I pushed her. So what? Jordan was momentarily speechless upon hearing my unapologetic tone. Kelly didn't expect me to say that things were deviating from her anticipated script. Jordan spoke again. So what if I took one project from you? It just proves you weren't capable enough. Which is why your uncle gave the project to Kelly. How could you hold a grudge and lay hands on Kelly? I maintained the same tone. If that's how you want to see it, there's nothing I can do. Jordan choked up once again. Kelly endured the pain and stood up, pulling along a young lady she had just been happily chatting with. She said with grievance, Elsa. Grace pushed me. It hurts so much. Can you help me seek justice? Elsa followed her words and continued. I'll definitely get justice for you. She looked at Kelly with a smile, then fiercely pulled her hand away the next second. Kelly was caught off guard and knocked to the ground by her. I couldn't help but laugh. Did no one tell her that Elsa has studied Taekwondo? Elsa disgustedly took out a wet wipe from her bag and carefully wiped her hands. Meanwhile, Kelly stood there in complete confusion. She couldn't understand why Elsa, who had just seemed like a kindred spirit moments ago, could change her attitude so quickly. Elsa, Jordan scolded and was about to help Kelly up again. But this time, he was stopped by Elvis. "What are you yelling about in my place?" Kelly's eyes flashed with a hint of panic. Her voice carried a sense of urgency. "It was Grace who pushed me. Are you still going to take her side?" "Elsa, aren't we good friends?" The crowd just stared at her coldly. Elsa wiped her hands and clicked her tongue in annoyance. "You didn't actually think someone of your status could be friends with me, did you?" "Just kidding. Did you take it seriously?" Jordan still wanted to step forward, but I curled my lips into a smile. "Our engagement ends here." Jordan started to panic as well. "You need me to secure your position as the heir. You still need me." As I've said before, the Quinn family has more than just you." I was referring to his brother, Dylan. With these words, everyone present understood that the Hilbert family had chosen Dylan in the Quinn family's succession battle. Jordan looked incredulous, immediately forgetting about Kelly, who was still sitting on the ground, and began pledging his loyalty to me. "He's just a useless invalid recuperating abroad. I'm your best choice." Elvis snapped his fingers, and bodyguards stepped forward one by one to restrain Jordan and escort him out. As he was being dragged away, he kept shouting, "Dylan is nothing but a medicine junkie. How could he possibly compare to me? How can love compare to power?" Watching Jordan being dragged away, Kelly found herself in a helpless situation. She put on that pitiful act again, hoping someone would speak up for her. But everyone present tonight had grown up in the cutthroat world of wealthy families. Her little tricks are hardly worth noticing. I chuckled lightly. "If you'd just behave and be a good little dog that wags its tail for its master, I might consider helping you when I'm in a good mood. But you're just an overreaching fool." Kelly was filled with terror, her lips turning pale with fear. Elsa made a small suggestion. "Didn't she accuse you at your birthday party, saying you splashed her? Being falsely accused never feels good. So why don't we just make that lie a reality now?" I picked the most expensive bottle of wine and poured it over Kelly's head. "Taste it. It's worth more than your life." Kelly was drenched from head to toe, her body trembling as she looked at Elvis with shock in her eyes. "You did it on purpose. You deliberately told me this was a blind spot for surveillance just to humiliate me." Elvis suddenly curled his lips into a smile. "Otherwise, how could you have revealed your foxtail?" Ever since I put Kelly in her place at the bar, her hatred for me has only grown stronger. At the office, we constantly cross paths, and for several days in a row, she's been making a point to be noticed in front of me. "What does it matter that you've worked hard on that project for 2 years? Dad still gave me the chance to shine. In Dad's heart, I come first." I couldn't care less about her childish mentality and didn't even bother to acknowledge her. Kelly, seeing me treat her like thin air, she was grinding her teeth in anger. However, she did remind me to ask about the progress of hijacking this project. I returned to the office and turned on the computer. An email caught my eye. "It's from Dylan. Pleasure working with you." I raised an eyebrow slightly. Dylan works fast. His reach extends even overseas. Looks like partnering with him was the right decision. Sure enough, during the afternoon meeting, Dad slammed the documents onto the table angrily. Kelly was scolded harshly without mercy. "Can't even handle such a small task properly. What good are you? Do you have any idea how much money we've lost?" The table was banged loudly. Kelly started crying again. I don't know why either. Everything was going smoothly in the negotiations. But today they suddenly notified me unilaterally that they wouldn't sign the contract. The shareholders began whispering among themselves. This project should have been assigned to Hilbert from the start. Why bother changing people? Being incompetent. Crying won't help. I took a sip of coffee, silently giving Dylan another mental thumbs up for his capabilities. Dad sat down with a hand on his forehead, waving Kelly out of the room. "She's not even qualified to attend the company meetings now." The board members voiced their opinions, even starting to threaten Dad. In the end, Kelly's involvement in all company projects was handed back to me. Before leaving, she started acting shameless again. "I am my father's daughter, and everything in the company will be mine in the future." Who knows where she got such confidence from? Does she think the board of directors is just child's play? Since I've already started taking action, I'll make sure she never gets a chance to turn the tables. To gather evidence, I moved back into that disgusting house. When the night was deep and all was quiet, I secretly placed the voice recorder under the desk. I knew that these past few days, Kelly had been going into the study and staying there for dozens of minutes at a time. No need to guess. She was surely begging Dad again to let her return to the company. While I was working in the living room, just like the previous days, Kelly walked out again with a dejected look. Seeing me sitting here so calmly, her anger flared up. "Don't get too cocky too soon," I snorted with laughter. "Give them too much face. And even beasts start thinking they're human." Kelly glared at me fiercely. But before she could speak, a voice came from the study. "Grace, come here for a moment." I was just worrying about not finding a chance to go in, and now it comes without any effort. "You know, Kelly wants to return to the company. Go and put in a good word for her with those shareholders to let her come back. You called me here just for this illegitimate daughter." I pretended to be angry and slammed the table, using the noise as cover to reach under and tear away the recording device. My words were filled with rage. "Aren't you well aware of how much money she's cost the company? Send this good-for-nothing back. Do you want the entire Hilbert family to perish with her?" What father dislikes most is defiance. And by saying this, I was practically dancing on his last nerve. He began to get angry too. "We're all family. Why can't we support each other? She's also your sister." I rolled my eyes. "Just an adopted daughter. Why should I care about her?" He pointed at my head and started yelling. "The general idea is that no matter what methods I use, I must convince those old foxes to let Kelly return to the company and secure a position." Before leaving, I said my final words to him. "You'll regret this." I deliberately picked a fight with him. Only by causing this scene could I leave that place openly and without suspicion. In his and Kelly's minds, I left in a huff someone who couldn't possibly make waves. Little did I know, I had already processed the audio from the recorder that very night. Kelly did not disappoint me either, as it clearly captured everything I wanted. I contacted Dylan again, asking him to add fuel to the fire during the most chaotic moment. Then, I released that audio clip online. I also came up with a sensational title, perfectly capturing the attention of netizens. The audio starts with some faint, scattered sounds, followed shortly by Kelly's voice coming through. "Dad, please let me come back to the company. Grace is your daughter, and so am I. Why is she allowed to stay at the company while I'm not? Mom and I spent over 20 years hiding and running, and only after she passed away did you finally bring me here. You can't treat me like this. Isn't it just the Hilbert family, still within your grasp? Dad, that Grace is nothing special." In just a few words, all the information that needed to be exposed was revealed. That night, the audio clip went viral across the internet. I posted it from the same account as before. Ever since the birthday banquet incident, netizens had been waiting for a follow-up. The follow-up completely shattered netizens' perceptions. Comments poured in one after another beneath the post. "Holy shit. I was right. She's the illegitimate daughter. Damn. An illegitimate child acting so self-righteous. What a grand spectacle. Disgusting. Disgusting. If this follows the novel's plot, she'll probably end up with your fiancé or childhood sweetheart, won't she?" I liked this comment, hinting that what they said was true. My involvement once again stirred up the entire incident. "You really are the female lead in a novel who's been abandoned by everyone, aren't you? Who is it? Who is it? Investigate for me." No wonder people say netizens are like Sherlock Holmes. They dug up all our family secrets in no time. I found it. Grace, the heiress of the Hilbert family conglomerate. This company belonged to her mother. Her father was a live-in son-in-law. When her mother died, Grace wasn't yet an adult, so all the power was handed to her father. In other words, this company belongs to the Hilbert family and has nothing to do with that illegitimate daughter. The key point is, not long ago at Grace's birthday banquet, her father even wanted that illegitimate daughter to change her surname to Hilbert. Damn, I've never seen someone so shameless. Having an affair outside and then trying to give the mistress's daughter what rightfully belongs to the legal wife. That fiancé is Jordan, and according to insiders, he's been quite close to the illegitimate daughter. But it doesn't matter anymore. The engagement seems to have been called off. At most, it's just something annoying for a while. Thanks to Jordan, his corporation's stock has been plummeting. Dylan has also achieved his purpose in collaborating with me. Of course, this isn't enough yet. The boardroom was filled with tension. Kelly once the identity of being an illegitimate child was exposed. Within the Hilbert family, neither she nor her father would ever have a chance to recover. Reporters swarmed around the company building downstairs. Dad looked at me with weary eyes, clearly having stayed up all night. Do you really have to go this far? I'm still your father. I smiled indifferently. When you were having an affair outside, why didn't you remember you were my father? If I recall correctly, Kelly is only 2 weeks younger than me. The things my mother left for me, you've held on to them for so many years. Isn't it time to return them to me? He smashed everything on the table onto the floor. You ungrateful daughter. Not to be outdone, I kicked the table over. I've fucking had enough of you. After all, he had managed the Hilbert family for so many years, and there were still those who supported him. What I want is the loyalty of everyone. So, I had Dylan add fuel to the fire. Dylan's methods were swift and decisive, gradually stripping Jordan of his authority early on. Coupled with those scandals, the Gu family's management underwent a major reshuffle. At the shareholders' meeting, I also invited people from the Gu family. This was undoubtedly telling those old foxes that the person in charge of the Gu family and I are of one mind. Supporting me is the best choice. Does anyone still want to support my father? No one answered. After a round of voting, I successfully became the head of the Hilbert family. As for my disgusting father, as soon as the voting results came out, he collapsed to the ground and never recovered. The doctor said he had a stroke and would spend the rest of his life in bed. I gave the hospital a sum of money and left him there without any care or concern. Such a person is simply not fit to be a father. The facts have proven that their choice was right. I signed several projects with Gu Corporation. It's all about win-win cooperation. The career success is on the right track. After returning that day, I had someone Kelly kicked out of the villa. The next time I heard about her was when an employee told me that someone was causing a scene at the property we developed, threatening to jump off a building. When I found out it was Kelly causing the disturbance, my mischievous side grew even stronger. Miss Hilbert, she's still live streaming. I opened the live stream link, and what greeted my eyes was Kelly standing on the rooftop, crying and shouting about seeking redemption. Bullet comments kept scrolling across the screen. Let go of your savior complex, or you'll get breast nodules. You've been standing there for an hour now. Jump or not. Just say the word. What kind of attention are you? A bastard daughter who stole someone else's nest, trying to get here anyway. Some netizens began to sympathize with her. After all, it's a life. You should think it through. I raised an eyebrow. Still live streaming. Then it's clear you're not serious about jumping. It's nothing more than using the internet to create some hype for herself. Playing the victim to win sympathy from netizens. She must have had a tough time lately. Just the other day, I came across a video of her being pelted with rotten eggs while walking down the street. She's become a public enemy that everyone wants to beat. The worse she suffers, the happier I am. I even want to see for myself what tricks she has up her sleeve. By the time I arrived at the scene, the firefighters had already laid out a cushion below. Kelly was still on the rooftop, saying she wanted to atone for her sins. She wouldn't let anyone get close and specifically asked for me to come up. So I did as she wished. People in the live stream noticed my arrival and started flooding the chat. If you want to watch, keep your distance. Be careful she doesn't try to scam you. Don't forgive this illegitimate child. Kelly turned around and saw me, crying and pleading, please forgive me. But I didn't see the slightest hint of remorse in her eyes, only pure defiance. Then, she raised her hand and shut down the live stream. The moment the live stream ended, her true colors were revealed. Tell me, if I jump from here today, you Grace, will have a life on your conscience. I took off my sunglasses. Jump somewhere else. You're stepping on the disc I developed, and it's affecting my property sales. Kelly was stunned. Once again, things weren't going as she had anticipated. How could you say something like that? I'm speechless. Then what do you want to hear? That I'll cry just like you and then forgive you. Dream on. Go to sleep early. You'll find everything you want in your dreams. I've been standing 10 steps away from her the whole time, constantly keeping in mind what netizens have posted, keeping my distance from her. Otherwise, she might jump off later and claim I pushed her. It wouldn't be good if she actually framed me. Kelly's mental state is on the verge of collapse. How long are you going to push me like this? She took 2 steps back, and I followed suit, stepping back twice as well. Then she nodded in satisfaction. The distance is greater now. There's no way she can pin this on me anymore. Seeing that I ignored her, she started up with that same old spiel again. I also want to live a good life. But you're the one who pushed me to this. Did I push you to act like a rabid dog, biting everyone in sight? You. She was so angry at me that she couldn't even speak. From my perspective, I could clearly see Kelly's trembling legs. After spending 10 minutes with her here, it's not like she was going to jump anyway. The sun was scorching enough. So I put on my sunglasses and walked away without looking back, completely ignoring Kelly, who was shouting behind me. As long as I have no morals, morality can't bind me. I had just returned to the office when a young assistant hurried over to report to me. Boss. Kelly jumped down. It was somewhat unexpected. I thought with her timid nature, she would only dare to scare netizens by going live. Did she die? The little assistant shook her head and then added, she was about to come down, but then her foot slipped. And, what's the public sentiment? The assistant placed the computer in front of me. We were in the right in this matter to begin with. And netizens haven't dragged us into it either. I stopped paying attention to the matter and focused on my work. Now there's no need for investigations. You can just see Kelly's movements online. When I jumped that day, even though there were airbags laid out below, considering how high the building was, even if I didn't die, I'd have lost half my life. Coincidentally, the hospital she was staying at was the same one where my stroke-afflicted father was. At this point, it's all her own fault. But it has nothing to do with me anymore. After signing, I pushed the contract across to Dylan and reached out my hand. Pleasure working with you. He shook my hand in return. Pleasure working with you. The end.